Country Liberal Party Senator Jacinta Price. Now, before we get into our discussion, I just want to warn our viewers that we are about to run images that contain photographs and footage of a deceased person. And this, of course, is Australian Indigenous rights activist Yunupingu, who has passed away at the age of 74. Jacinta, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us here in Sydney. How will you remember Yunupingu?
Well, he was certainly a leader who led his people to be able to do things like create economic development opportunities with their own land. He really took ownership and control of the destiny of his own people in that regard, and led the way for many other groups to see as an example of what can be done, the sort of successes that the Gumatj have been able to the opportunities they've created on their own land.
He was a leading Indigenous Australian, calling for recognition in the Constitution. He was kind of ahead of his time when it came to mining, arguing that we wasn't against mining, arguing that the proceeds of it should go towards Indigenous communities. I mean, this is quite a huge legacy to have left behind. Of course, he was Australian of the Year as well.
Absolutely. The bauxite mine that they have there, the way in which that they've been able to contribute to, education outcomes for the young people, the Gama festival that's held every year up in, in their country. And he really did lead the way for a lot of Indigenous Australians. I know that, my mother had a long-standing relationship with him. There were kin ties between our family and his family. And we did have his wife called the other day to sort of acknowledge that he was, coming to the end of his time.
Yeah.
Really sad time, but he leaves behind a huge legacy.
Yeah.
Not just for the Yolngu people and the Gumatj, but for many Aboriginal people across the country.
No, definitely, and Australians who aren't Indigenous as well.